Howdy! Welcome to Recipe for Romance. I'm your guide, Chef Jeff. You know, they say half the fun of a romantic evening is the anticipation of what's to come. And what better way to encourage that anticipation than a beautifully presented, delicious three-course gourmet meal. Yet it's difficult to get involved in passionate conversation when your special someone's in the dining room and you're stuck here in the kitchen. Thus, my game plan is to not only show you how to cook the three courses, but demonstrate the timing necessary to keep you in the dining room and not here. So let's do a quick overview and then we'll get down to cooking, because I know you're going to be just as excited about this menu as I am. We start out with our salad, what I like to call red, whites, and greens. Basically, it's this wonderful picture on a plate. We top it off with some pine nuts, and a little bit of walnut oil and balsamic vinegar. Oh, it's fantastic. Our entree, a childhood favorite of mine, is flank steak. Yet we combine it with some string, yellow bell peppers, and spinach to create this stunning pinwheel effect. It's accompanied by cilantro tabbouleh, caramelized carrots, and sweet potato chips, a favorite of everyone. We finish with apple strudel in a pouch. Now this is a dessert that's going to look like it took you hours to make. And yet I'm going to show you it's as simple as wrapping a Christmas present. So get ready, get your pens and papers, fasten your seatbelts, because in 25 minutes we're going to be sitting in the dining room enjoying this feast. The marinade, we're going to pretend it's the night before, because what we're working with is flank steak. Now flank steak, if you can see, it's a little bit stringy. It's right here, it's the belly of the cow, and it's a little bit tough. So the marinade is going to do two things for us. The first thing it's going to do, it's going to make it very tender, so it'll be easy to cut tomorrow. And the second thing it's going to do, it's going to infuse it with all these wonderful flavors that I have in front of me. So we're going to marinate it for 24 hours, meaning we're starting the night before now. Now the marinade's very simple to make. All we do is add some olive oil, a little bit of white vinegar, some scallions, soy sauce, and then we're going to add some ginger and some garlic. Now these are rough chopped because we're not going to eat them, so it's not real important that they be chopped real fine. We're just going to mix that up, and then at the end we're going to add some honey. Now we want to add the honey at the end so it doesn't stick to the bowl. Boy, you know, I can already smell this coming together. Okay, now we're just going to take the meat, push it down in here, and then we're going to flip it over so it gets all coated real good. We're going to stick it in the refrigerator, and tomorrow we'll pull it out to make the roulade. We're going to start out with our cilantro tabbouleh. The reason we're going to do this is it has several different flavors, and we want them all to mingle together for this fantastic finished taste. We're going to start out with bulgur wheat. Bulgur wheat is sort of dry and hard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our pot of boiling water here and just bring it to a boil, and then we're just going to dump the bulgur wheat right into it and then let it set for about 15 minutes. And the net result of that is the bulgur wheat is going to get real soft and moist, and you can see how it expanded here. Now we're going to add to that a little bit of tomatoes and red onions, and you can see they're diced about the same size. And we just put this right into the bowl. Now we add our bulgur wheat, a little bit of cilantro. Now the cilantro needs to be diced real fine, because if you don't dice it fine, it's going to taste real gritty at the end, and that's something we definitely want to avoid. To that we're going to add our olive oil, some salt, and we're going to finish it off with some fresh ground pepper. And remember, we always want to use fresh pepper. But you're just going to mix this up now, and you can see all the wonderful colors that we're adding in here. And oh, you're not going to believe the end result. Okay, we'll just stick this in the refrigerator now and come back to it in 3 hours. I promised you I was going to demonstrate the timing. And today's culinary term is called mise en place. And mise en place is what's going to create the timing necessary to keep you in the dining room. Now basically what mise en place is It's a French term, as are most culinary terms. Now I must admit, when I was at cooking school, it took me several days to grasp the concept, but I'm going to give it to you in 10 seconds. Basically, mise en place means everything you need to cook with. As you can see, we have everything laid out on our tray. We have all the salads, all the accompaniments. We have all our utensils ready. We have our plate ready, the dressing. Everything you need and organized is what mise en place means. And that's what makes it so easy and so quick to cook later on when your guest is out in the dining room. So now the fun part, we're going to paint our picture on the plate. We're going to start with a little bit of radicchio. Now this is a really beautiful red piece of lettuce. It's a little bit bitter, but it makes a great centerpiece. And we're going to put it right up at the top of the plate here, like the hub of a wheel. With that, we're going to take a little bit of green leaf now. And now it's real important when you buy the lettuce at the store, you look real closely, because in a lot of supermarkets, they have real bad lighting, so you can't see the flaws in the lettuce and stuff. So look extra close and make sure you get the best stuff, because when you get home in the bright lights, you're really going to see. Now we want to tear off the stems, because the stems are kind of chewy and don't look real good. And we're just going to set it right into our hub right here. Now, next we're going to use a little red leaf lettuce. And it's not important that every time or each salad you make is exactly the same. You're sort of just making a painting and you want it to come out beautiful. We'll just lay them in here. We're going to use a little bit of purple kale. Now once again, this is beautiful color we're adding in here. And actually this tastes a lot better than the radicchio does. There we go. And right on top, how about a little mâche? Right down the center. Oh, now look at that. Isn't that incredible? It's so simple. Now we're going to take 3 pieces of Belgian endive, and we're going to consider the salad our wheel, the hub of the wheel, and these are the spokes sticking out. And should they be just a little bit too long, just go ahead and take your knife and cut down on the ends of it so they fit inside the rim. We're going to take some red bell peppers now and just slice them right inside the Belgian endive. Once again, the contrast is what we're looking for. Now we're going to get some marinated artichoke hearts, and you can buy these in the store already marinated. You just cut them up and put them in between each of your wheels. And then we're going to finish it off with a little Kalamata olives. And a nice black color. And there we go. Look at that. Is that not incredible? And how long did it take us? About 3 minutes? Now this dressing, is so simple, and yet so flavorful. You're just not going to believe it. It's a basic 1 part, 3 part, and that would be 1 part vinegar, 3 parts oil. Today we're using walnut oil. You could use hazel oil or any type of oil you wanted, and then we're going to add our vinegar, our balsamic vinegar, and just mix it up. Now to that we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Now it's real important you use real good quality Parmesan, or it's not going to taste as good as you want. We're going to add a little bit of salt, fresh ground pepper. Remember, we always want to use the fresh ground. And then a little bit of lemon juice, and we'll roll our lemon. Always roll your lemons. It breaks the cells so the juice comes out a little easier. And then catch the seeds. We don't want to put any seeds in the dressing. There we go. Oh, look how simple that was, and just incredible. And we're going to go ahead and put this in our carafe right now. So later on tonight, all we'll have to do is shake it up and we'll be ready to go. We've made it to the accompaniments. Now these are very simple, but you're going to be surprised at how much flavor they have. And not only the flavor, but what they're going to do to the portrait we're creating. Oh, the colors, it's fantastic. So we'll start out with our carrots. We'll take our pot. We're just going to add, we have 1 pound of chopped carrots here. We're going to add cola, some brown sugar, and butter. So look how simple that is. And we just add enough water to cover. And then we're going to set it on the burner and just let it go by itself for a couple hours. Now you just want to check it every now and then and make sure the water doesn't boil away. And it's just going to get so syrupy and so delicious and so wonderful. Reminds me of my childhood. Next is our sweet potatoes, and we have a sweet potato here, and basically you can just put this through your food processor or your salad shooter, or if you don't have one or the other, you can just cut them real thin like you see we have here, and then just leave them in water until we're ready for them to finish our entree. Welcome to our session on wines. Now it's very important to understand how serious wines are. I want you to realize you have to match the right, and if you believe that, it's ridiculous. The only thing you have to please with the wines is your taste buds. Or, if you're like me, I want to make my special someone smile and please her. So, if you get anything out of today's lesson, it's going to be wines are to enjoy. You don't have to worry about any fancy rituals. And you can see we have several different kinds of wines here. Some white, rosé, red, a little bit of champagne. And what we're going to do today is just show you how to open the bottle, because I've yet to find a bottle of wine that comes with instructions. Now there's several different kinds of bottle openers you can use. You can use the professional one, or this is the kind you find in the homes most often. And the way I like to open the bottle is just take the point and come right at the base of the wrapper and just sort of tear it a little bit. Okay? And then you're just going to peel it off. Now in the newer bottles you don't have to worry about it, but if you're using an older bottle of wine, they might have used a lead wrapping, so you want to get in the habit of just wiping it off because you don't want to get any kind of lead poisoning. Now we're just going to take it. Now you can hold the bottle in your hand, you can set it on the table, set it on your knee, whatever's most comfortable. And that's what we're trying to get across today, that wines are supposed to be enjoyable. Put it right in the center of the bottle and start to twist. And push down a little bit as you twist. And as you see, as it starts to catch the top of the bottle, the wings are sort of going to raise up. Now this is where it's important. You want to slowly raise the cork out, not too quick, and as you get it all the way out, you just want to wiggle it just a little bit, and presto, you can see the cork come right out. Okay? Now, people like to, if you see the fancy people smelling the corks and feeling them, and what this is all about is basically, is in the olden days when corks weren't so good, sometimes the corks got hard and air got in and the wine turned to vinegar. So basically what people did was smell the cork to see if they could taste any vinegar. Now I can tell you the odds of getting a bad cork today are probably worse than winning the California lottery. So who cares about the corks? Alright? So the next thing you want to remember, if you get anything from this lesson, is that wines are supposed to be fun. Now granted, certain wines go with certain foods, and the more you drink, the more you're going to learn what you like to go with certain foods, because certain wines overpower food, certain foods overpower wine. But at this point, the best thing to remember is enjoy the wine. So thank you, and until next time, enjoy. We've made it to the entree, the centerpiece of the whole meal. All right, we're going to take our marinade and take our flank steak out of the marinade, and you can see I have some flank steak here that wasn't marinade, and just look at the difference of the two steaks. See the deep, rich color in this, and all those flavors I've had all night just to absorb into the meat. And it's just going to be so wonderful when you eat it. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some color to it. We'll start out with our spinach, and once again you can see the mise en place, our culinary term of the day. Everything is right in front of me. Everything I need is all cut and ready to go. So we're going to layer the spinach and leave about 1 inch on either side. As we roll it, you're going to see that we need that little inch extra. And on top of the spinach now we're going to take some roasted yellow bell peppers, and you can get these in the store if you're not sure how to roast them yourself. And then we're going to add some carrots and some celery. And once again, this is going to give us different colors and different textures as we cut into it. Now we'll just turn it sideways, and we're going to roll it up, just like we were rolling a sleeping bag. And if something falls out, don't worry about it. Just set it on the side. It'll be fine. Now already we have our string with a little hole on the end of it so we can slip the string right through it. And then we're just going to pull it tight. We missed. Okay, now we'll want to just twist the string, put it over the end, pull it tight again. This is called a butcher's knot. And you can see how it holds it in the shape we want it. So later on, once it cooks, it's going to come out in this exact same shape. And then we'll just wrap the string around the end and tie a little knot in it. And it's alright if you have a little string hanging over the end. It won't go anywhere. It's fine. Okay, and then we have our roulade all ready to go. Now we're going to take our roasting pan. We're going to add what's called a mirepoix, and this is the basis of a lot of soups and sauces. It's 50% onions, 25% celery, and 25% carrots. We'll just put that right in the pan. We'll put our flank steak on top of it, and then just cover it with foil. And now we're going to cook it for an hour at 350 degrees, and then we're going to turn the oven down to 200 degrees and let it sit until we're ready for it. It's time for me to make you look like you went to cooking school for 2 years. This dessert is so simple, but it looks so complicated. We're going to start out by making a simple strudel. We'll put our pot on the fire. We have a little bit of butter in here. What we're going to take is some apples. Now, if you chopped up your apples ahead of time, put them in water with a little bit of lemon. Just a little. We don't want to change the flavor, but we want to make sure they don't turn brown. So we're just going to throw them in here. Stir the butter around just a bit. Now with that, we can add everything else together all at once. We have some raisins, some walnut, some cinnamon, some nutmeg, sugar, and white wine. Okay, we just let this get nice and hot. We'll just add it all in. And it's just so fantastic. You know, when we get to the dessert, people are going to be, your special guest is going to be kind of full. But when she sees this, she'll be hungry right away. So we just put it all in here and stir it up. And now we're just going to let this sit. It takes about 10 minutes. And as you can see over here, I have some that we cooked a little earlier. And it's nice and brown and sweet and it smells fantastic. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a phyllo dough. Now phyllo dough, where'd the box go? Oh, there it is. Oops. Well, here's the box. And you can get this in your grocery store in the freezer department. And you want to be very careful with it. We don't want it to get wet. You can see it's extremely thin. Now you'll just take a slice right down the center here so you have these sheets about 1/4 of the size. And we're going to take each sheet and lay it down. We want 4 sheets. Make sure we get whole ones. Crosswise. Then we have 1 on an angle and 2 on an angle. And we just want to make sure every now and then we go back and stir our apples up. You can start to smell it. God. You know, we added a little bit of white wine to it. You don't want to add too much, but just a little, and you'll be surprised at how great the flavor brings out. All right, we have a little bit of melted butter here. We're going to take the melted butter and just sprinkle it over the dough. Okay. Now we're going to add about 1 cup of the cooked apple filling, and it's easier to work with when it's cold than when it's hot. The phyllo dough won't tend to tear as much. Now what I want you to do is just to grab it up into your hand, going around in a circle. And once again, be very careful because it's so fragile. And then when you grab the top, we're just going to twist it just a little bit, and that's going to make the top of our pouch, and there's the bottom. And then we're just going to take our melted butter again and just drizzle it over a little bit. And this is what's going to make it brown up also nice and pretty. Okay, then we're just going to take this and stick it in the oven and cook it at about 300 degrees for 20 minutes. It's showtime. Your special someone's almost here. You've showered, set the mood, which we're going to talk about in the dining room, and now we're ready to finish the salad. And let me show you how simple it is. But before we do that, it's important, as soon as we're done with the salad, we need to heat the carrots, and we need to heat the sauce so it'll be ready when you're done eating your salad. Now watch how simple this is. We're going to take a few pine nuts and just sprinkle them right over the top of the salad. Maybe a little messy, but that's all right. Now we're going to take a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Now once again, we want to make sure we're using good Parmesan cheese to enhance that flavor. We're going to take our dressing now and just shake it up really good. Now we don't want to drench the salad. We just want to pour a little bit on it to add some flavor. And need be at the table, you can always put a little bit more on. But you spent all this time making it so beautiful. We don't want to drown it. Just clean it up. And look how simple that was. Is that not incredible? The entree. Salad went great. Now we're ready for the centerpiece of the whole evening, the entree. So we're going to start out by making our sauce. What we need to do is get our roulade out of the oven. Remember, we've been keeping it at 200 degrees, so it's nice and warm for us. Oh, boy. Once again, the aromas are fantastic. Okay. Now what we want to do, we're going to set the roulade off to the side. Nice and warm. Okay, we're going to take our mirepoix. Remember, it was all the vegetables that we have and all the juices were cooked into them. And if you could see, they're all nice and caramelized and luscious. Right into the blender. Okay, next we're going to add the marinade that we reserved from the meat earlier this morning. And we've brought it to a boil because there might be some bacteria in it with raw meat in it. So we want to make sure we bring it to that boil. All right, we'll just pour it right into the blender again. Oh, if you could only smell this. Oh, it's incredible. All right. Now we're going to put the lid on top of the blender, and we want to make sure we keep it with a towel or aluminum foil like this because it's very hot and you don't want to burn your hand. And just go ahead and turn that slow. Incredible. Now the one part we don't want to forget is the port wine. Now we're only going to put in a little bit again, just a couple ounces, but you're not going to believe what this couple ounces is going to do. It's just going to intensify the flavor so much. Once again, we'll just mix it up a little. And there's our sauce. Now this isn't a classical sauce. If it was a classical sauce, we'd strain it and thicken it and everything. But I think you're going to find this is even better. Fantastic. All right, now we're ready to put the plate together. We'll start out with the roulade. All right, we're going to cut the end of it off first because the end's not going to be real pretty, and that's not what we're looking for. And then we'll remove the string. It's kind of chewy. We don't want to add the string in with the meal. Okay, and then we want to cut 6 pieces. But we'll cut 3 here just to show you what each plate's going to look like. And we'll slide it away. Make sure if there's any string, we pull that to the side. And look how beautiful that is. Okay, we're going to bring our plate in. We're just going to slide our knife underneath, set it right on top of the plate, and spread it out just so you can see that pinwheel effect. And isn't that something else? Okay, now we go to the top of the plate, a little piece of purple kale, just to highlight a little more color. And then on top of that, we're going to add our cilantro tabbouleh. And now it's had 3 hours, and it's just, it's incredible. And all these flavors mingling together, and it's just so pretty. It's my favorite, I must admit that. Okay, now we're going to add to that our carrots. And they've had hours just to cook and cook and cook and get so sweet and so fantastic. There we go. And on top of that, we're just going to put a touch of a dill leaf, just once again for a little color to highlight the carrots. And then to finish it all off, our sweet potato chips. Oh, look at these. I tell you, out of the whole meal, this is going to be the favorite of everyone. All right, remember we created a painting, so if we got anything on the sides, make sure we wipe it up so it looks fantastic. Look at that. What did that take us? About 3 or 4 minutes. And here, isn't that fantastic? Excellent. This dessert is going to make you look like you went to culinary school for 2 years, and yet, so simple. Look at this, how quick we're going to put it together. We'll take our apple strudel pouch, and look how nice and brown it came out of the oven. It's gorgeous. A little bit warm, though. And we'll pick it up, slide it right onto the plate. So incredible. Here we go. Our ice cream, and make sure once again you're using good quality ice cream because that's half the flavor of the dessert, and we want to make sure that's the best it can be. We're going to put just a tinge of cinnamon on it, finish it off with a mint leaf, and man, isn't that fantastic? We spent half the day creating 3 beautiful portraits with the goal of enticing, stimulating, and pleasing your special someone. The final step, the dining room table, your art gallery. And when your special someone is as gorgeous and wonderful as mine, you don't want to miss any opportunity to make her smile. Aura, will you please give our viewers some hints on what you look for when you came to dinner tonight?
Sure, I'd love to. Obviously, men and women look for different things, but I think we both want the same thing, a feeling of warmth and anticipation. No matter how enticing the dining room, my first glance is always at my chef. So remember, ladies, always to leave enough time to dress for that special occasion. As for the table, I look at the flowers, the candles, the music, the lighting, and although I haven't shown it, I've stolen a peek at my plate for a special gift.
Looks like you've already made enough positive and negative decisions to set the stage for the whole night. We haven't even gotten to the food. I'm glad I did my homework. I'm dressed and ready to go. But remember, even if you're running late, you need to stop and go and change. And if you're going to forget, put a little note on the refrigerator door. Aura, can you explain that little something special?
It makes me feel great.
We're on the right track now. Our next step is going to be to set the dining room table, but we'll save that for another day. Now, let's do a simple napkin fold. This napkin fold is so simple, you're not going to believe it. And you know what? As hard as you've worked all day long, you need a simple napkin fold. What we're going to do is separate these, take the black napkin, and just lay it out flat on the table, and we'll take our teal, and we're going to put corner to corner, opposite each other, so it goes corner, corner, corner. Right? Then just slide your hand right into the center, grab it, pick it up, and let it hang down. Then we're going to turn it over and put it right into the wine glass. Sort of tuck it in there and just open it up and look at that. Look how incredible that is. How simple. You know what? I want to thank you all for watching. And happy romance to all of you. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you all.